one thing I would like WWE to realize is that whenever they have made a transition in Top Guy, the guy has been very different from the one who came before him. Hogan to Michaels was completely different. You went from eat your prayers, say your vitamins, to raunchy pretty boy, to beer drinking redneck, to the Rock and the People's Champion, and then to John Cena. There has never been really a situation where you've transitioned and had anything really similar or anything to relate the two guys together. And if you're going to try to make John Cena 2.0, you're going to be met with severe backlash, and it's at the end of the day, it's not going to work. And this guy, on top of it, doesn't fit John Cena 2.0. This isn't even a situation where you could create a John Cena 2.0, because this guy just does not fit that mold. It seems like people are skeptical of WWE's ability to choose their own next guy, and I think that's why a lot of people have latched onto Daniel Bryan and resented Roman Reigns. That the way John Cena has been handled and the length of time he has been unquestionably on top, and the things that they have done with him, I think it's led people to kind of not want just another John Cena. They don't want WWE to just create their next monster, and that's something that I think is affecting their ability to really handpick their next guy, especially when you come to a point whereby this guy is clearly someone they have kind of handpicked. And that's not to say that he hasn't worked or gotten over or anything like that, but it's a guy that they kind of signed and they said, okay, we have big plans for him. And they eventually took him through the Shield and, built him up to this point. And it's just kind of a question of, did the way they handled John Cena for the past decade, is that going to affect their ability to sell the fans on, hey, this is our next guy?
100%. And you summed it up perfectly there when you said fans, they are nervous about WWE handpicking their next guy and saying who's going to be the face of the company. If you look at the handling of Roman Reigns, you can't really fault them, at least on this specific issue, because WWE, they're making a huge mistake. Charlie, you said earlier on how when you move from one face of the company to the next, there's not much similar about those guys as you go through the progression. And when you get to John Cena, he's had that spot in WWE for so long. And I think that whatever you want to say about the wrestling promotion side of things and the wrestler, John Cena, I think this is a completely different subject from the face of the company, the poster boy. And I'm going to say this, and this is the 100% truth. You can throw out your Hulk Hogan's, your Stone Colds, the Rocks, Shawn Michaels, HBK, whoever the hell you want to throw out there. But point blank period, John Cena is the best face of the company WWE has ever had and will ever have. And I think that the success that John Cena has experienced as the poster boy of WWE, it's got them in a certain mindset where they're like, oh crap, this guy was so amazing in this position. The next guy to take over for him, he has to be just like him. And it doesn't work out that way, because as crazy as this sounds, that is an example of WWE not giving John Cena the credit that he deserves, because they think that their machine is more valuable than the stats and the talent and the skill that John Cena brought to the table. Because with the corny jokes and whatever it is that John Cena does, that works for him. Some people may not like it, but I think that John Cena does it well. It's very clear that Roman Reigns does not. You can't replace John Cena with Roman Reigns trying to be John Cena, because as great as John Cena is at playing that role, a lot of people don't like it. And they're going to like it even less when Roman Reigns is the guy who's bringing less to the table than John Cena is.
Well, right. Nobody wants more of the same. I mean, who's going to sit there at home and say, we've had same gimmick for the last 10 years. I want another guy to play that same gimmick for the next 10 years. And then another guy can come along and play that same gimmick for another 10 years. Like, come on. Nobody wants that. There is not one soul on this earth who can literally tell me right now that they want the same character all the time, just replaced with...
Except for Vince McMahon.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But no, I think all these top guys that have come over the years, I mean, I guess the only one that Cena's comparable to really is Hogan. But all these other guys who've been at the top level, like HBK, or if you want to say Bret Hart was somewhat of a top guy for a while, and Stone Cold and The Rock, every one of those guys had something different to offer, and there was something different to their gimmick, always.
WWE really needs to create a situation whereby we have the first Roman Reigns rather than the second coming of John Cena. And it's surprising to me that they would ever put themselves in a position to create another on-screen John Cena, because I'm not telling you to go out there and have Roman Reigns scare the general public and be such a badass, kind of like Brock Lesnar, that, the whole aspects of being the face of the company don't come into play with him, and he kind of turns into a Randy Orton that, he's not really the marketed guy. But at the same time, they need to create a balance between face of the company and on-screen top guy. And they haven't been able to do that with John Cena in recent years, and hopefully they can find a way to do it with Roman Reigns. And I think it starts with this feud with Lesnar and him being a little bit more nasty. I want to bring the hate a little bit here. Get Roman Reigns just a little bit nastier.
Or a lot nastier.
Okay, we can go a lot nastier,
Yeah.
Yeah.